Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is November 18th, 2018. We're going to write a little code today. How's it going over there, chat room? Let's see, I see Robert Tables, Rambling Geek. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Klein Freund. That sounds a little German. I'm guessing it's in the late afternoon for you. Hello, hello. Svava is here. Oh, plenty of mischief. We're going to have fun today. Absolutely. Hey, Bardaki. And Stelzy's here. Poetic Android. Good morning, Poetic Android. Good to see you. Yes, 4 p.m. I know my European time zones. Hey, camera, stop zooming. Stop it with the zoom. I'm wearing my Disney hat today. This is my last day, my last stream before I take off. Some folks have been asking me, Jeff, when the heck are you going on holiday here? I am taking off for holiday. Next week is American Thanksgiving. So I will be taking off for about 10 days. And I'll be back on Thursday. What is it? Thursday. I should be back for a stream on Thursday the 29th, Friday the 30th. And then I take off for... I will not be streaming on the 1st or 2nd because I take off for Microsoft Connect and the Dev Intersection Conference. So you'll find me live streaming from Las Vegas, and it's going to be a very special week from Las Vegas because you're going to find me and the person that I'm going to raid after this stream, Noopcat, pair programming, live on stage, live on Twitch. We're going to have a ton of fun with .NET, JavaScript, IoT, all the cool stuff. It is going to be an amazing couple of streams that we're going to do together, all live from Las Vegas. I don't know, maybe I'll try and find a hat that's, all the feathers that they have for the folks in the shows there or something. But yes, we're going to put those together and have a heck of a lot of fun. We're lining up content now. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think we're going to have a absolute blast. Let's see here. I've got a couple things I want to make sure we have set up before we go too far here. There we go. That looks right. Let's get some music playing here in the background. This is, of course, I'm going to start some music to code by. And you know what? I'm going to play. This is called Gold. There we go. Music to code by, of course, is music that's been designed, that's been written specifically to get you in the groove, to get you focused on whatever task it is that you might have. Check it out. You can download 25-minute songs from our friend Carl Franklin, who has graciously given us permission to listen to that while we're writing code together here on stream. You can get your copy at mtcb.pwop.com. And of course, it's available. There's an app you can subscribe to. You can get, I think, 6 songs for free now at musictoflowby.com. Thank you so much, Carl. We love listening to your music here on stream. Music is very low. You know what? This song might be a little low. I haven't adjusted this one. Let's see here. Because I want to make sure that I don't absolutely kill your ears when I play things like this. How's that? How's the music now? It does start off low, but it does pick up. But yes, we're going to take a good rest, and we'll be back for that first week in December from Las Vegas. And then we'll be back in the weeks after. So I'm taking time from the job, but I will be streaming, and we're going to have a ton of fun in December because I am lining up December. We are going to do 1 day a week. We'll have beginners on, and we'll do some beginner web page building. And I'm looking forward to that. Getting some folks their first steps at building a website. All right. I am working on this project here, Stream Tools. This is what we're talking about today. And particularly, this is a project that is built with ASP.NET Core that runs, it's actually running in the background right now. and I have it logging aggressively to the console so I can see what's going on. But it generates all the some of the cool widgets that you see here, like that rainbow beard gauge that's right there. And it gets some information from Twitch, from other services, and updates for us. These little user interface niceties that we have in stream. Well, that's fine, but it also runs a chatbot that's sitting there in the background and running. And something that's been kind of a dream of mine, something that I've been tinkering with and building towards, is this concept of you, our viewers, our pair programmers out there in the chat room, being able to submit code live directly into my application. It's a little bit more than Liveshare, but it's not quite Git and Git integrations. So there is definitely a little bit of fun to be had here building that out. Taking a look at the chat room, Bardaki says, can I bring back a preview of Visual Studio 2019? You want to do epic unit testing music? Can't say. Can't say, but 2019 is just a month or two away. It's not too bad. You'll be seeing a preview of the new Visual Studio before you know it. You're going to love it. Hey, Moz, good to see you. Thanks for joining us, and great to see those emotes in chat. So, yeah, we're going to have... Look at this. My beard's going a little Dirk Dastardly here. There we go. So, last time, previously on Fritz and Friends, we hooked up Dependabot to monitor dependencies inside of Stream Tools, and if there's a change in some of these things, to send a pull request to bump up some of our versions here. So I'd like to take a quick look, improve some of these, and I also want to talk about this one down here from our friend Alex Nichols. So let's go over to the code. There we are. Fantastic. That white hat is really loud on this white background. We won't be on it for too long, though. Yes. So Bardaki makes a very good point here. One of the first project we worked on stream together is Epic Build Music, and it's not pinned in my GitHub anymore here. And I haven't touched it in a really long time. There it is. This is an extension that will play music. There's actually a pull request here I haven't added yet. Oh, wow. All right, we've got to merge that at some point here. But not today. I've got too much I really want to get done. But this will play music while Visual Studio is building your application. It's available in the marketplace. You can download it and add it into Visual Studio. And we built this completely on stream together. It was a lot of fun. If you go back to, gosh, it's like December 2017 streams on YouTube, you'll find me working on this. Elevator music for compilation. You can choose any music you'd like and wire it up, and it will play for you. Yep. Oh yeah. That's very cool, Bardaki. Thank you. Elevator music for compilation? Maybe. The Nyan Cat test runner animation for a while. I'm not familiar with that. So let's take a look at some of these dependencies, and I want to also comment on this one, and this is something that I'd like to work on. It's a documentation thing, so I want to work on this off stream. I want to get started on addressing some of the code suggestions backlog items and captured some steps to get the site running locally. Made some light markdown lint fixes from, this is our friend Alex Nichols. He's a coworker of mine. He helped out with the Azure DevOps workshop we did in September. But added a build and run locally section, add resolutions and readme to error messages. Yeah. Fix the Docker compose step and command. Oh, good ideas there. Add GitHub app settings to readme. Good idea. So this is basically a bunch of updates for readme. Oh, very nice. That is fine with me. I'm always happy to get documentation fixes. So let's squash and merge these updates from Alex. And I think I do need to spend some time looking at the project and make it a little bit easier for folks to get up and running. Thank you very much for these doc fixes. I'll definitely spend time improving docs and the new user experience in the future. Very cool. Thank you, Alex. And because Alex made that commit, he's going to start to appear on our ticker up at the top of the screen that shows you the most recent contributors, the top contributors to our projects. I'm always happy to see and encourage new folks to contribute, to write their first pull requests, and we'll put them on that list. We'll give them credit. We'll celebrate them. There you go. You can see Alex right there in the first spot. Top contribution of the week. Only one so far, but it's coming. The contributor ticker. Yeah. Talent recognizes talent. I have no idea how to code, but really the guy who does my coding swears by me. Oh, Chris Jones, yes. Oh, thank you for stopping by, Andre. You know what? The idea here is we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable. Everybody learns a little bit, and we have a good time. If you're not having a good time, then it's work. If you are having a good time, well, then we're having something more than just work. Now we're having fun. Now we're able to do great things and continue doing great things because it's not a job anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in here for GDPR debate too. Yeah, I know. And that is a job. Lawyers. All right, let's take a look at the couple of... Let's take a look at a couple of these dependency changes that we got from Dependabot here. I think some of these are going to be kind of self-explanatory to improve. And I don't know what the compatibility deal here is. Hasn't made enough updates for projects maintaining to form a view on compatibility. Projects without CI. Well, there's something I need to do. I need to put CI in this project. So if I'm having fun at work, it's not really work. Exactly. It's not really work. It becomes a good time. So looking at this change, what Dependabot is suggesting is we go from an RC version of the XUnit runner to the 241. That makes sense to me. Let's merge that, and I don't need to thank Dependabot because it's a bot. You know?
Oh my.
Yeah, no reason to compliment that. All right. Bump Visual Studio web code generation design from 211 to 216. I'm okay with that one. I think that one should work. And I want to wire up dependency injection on this. Now this one I'm not sure about. At one point in the past we were using TwitchLib. And yeah, I'm not sure if I still am using TwitchLib. You learned more about SignalR yesterday. Oh, very cool. That's great. With James doing his SignalR Saturday. Yeah. Excuse me. Bot lives matter. Take it out, then see if it breaks. That was always my way with PHP. That's not a bad idea, Andre. That's not a bad idea at all. So let's do this. I like what Andre is saying there. I'm going to leave this one where it is. And let's take a look at some of these other ones and we'll come back to it and we'll pull it out. Dependency injection from a patch release like this, I'm like, that's okay. I'm okay with taking that. Let's see what else we have. Auto fixture. Auto fixture is something that I've been moving away from. But for now, let's take it. And now let's do a get on all this and see, make sure it still builds. Where am I going? Fritz, Stream Tools, yep. And it committed these into my dev branch. So let's go over to dev. Wrong branch. There we go. I was looking more about WebSocket stuff for using the OBS WebSocket. Oh, yeah. An OBS WebSocket NuGet package. That would be cool. That would be really cool to enable .NET developers to integrate with OBS. That would be really cool, Janesco. All right, let's run a git pull here. I've done that at companies when we try to migrate on-prem to the cloud. Sometimes no one knows what a server does. Yeah. Right, just have to give it a try, see what happens. So let's go down into my Stream Tools. Not that project. Bad project. That project. And let's try and do a .NET build. See if it works. Been there, done that. Yeah. There is one that uses the full .NET framework, 4.6.1. You know what? I'd be curious if the 4.6.1 doesn't migrate quickly and easily directly to .NET Core. All right, so that looks like it built properly. Okay. Let's go over to Visual. That's not Visual Studio. There's Visual Studio. Why didn't it prompt me to reload? Let's go to Test Explorer. There we go. It's already trying to run the tests. So they all ran properly, including the ones that I had skipped. All right, that's fine. So I'm okay with that. Now the one that we were talking about there was TwitchLib, which is sitting in Stream Tools. Let's see about removing that. Here. Where is it? There we go. All right, TwitchLib. If I remove that, can we still build? Hey, Smab. Good to see you. Yep, we're going to figure out our dependencies, and then I want to dive right back into the stuff about our chat. Build succeeded. I think we're going to close this pull request without taking it. And I think we will commit this change of removing TwitchLib. Nothing against the folks at TwitchLib, but I have my own library that I like and I enjoy tinkering with. Win 2003 server hasn't been rebooted in quite some time. Oh man. That gets scary when you have a server that hasn't been rebooted in a long time, and then you decide, all right, let's reboot it. And, whew. Hey, Frank, good morning. So Sunday morning has worked out well the past few weeks because I've been pulled away on things on Saturday, or I was coming home from a trip on Saturday. Similarly, next Saturday, December 1st, I'm announcing another horse show. So it's so Sunday works better than for me, and Mrs. C Sharp Fritz changed her day that she's working. No, she's no longer working on Saturdays. She works on Sundays, so it fits in nicely for me to stream while she and the C Sharp miners are. Yeah, I think that works for referencing my kids while they're out of the house, and I can focus on chatting with you. Hey, Veronica, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Great raid options on Sundays. Yes, indeed. You'd like to add some moderator tools. That's a great idea. Yeah, I think that'd be fun to do. Let me change back. Let me change back over to the other branch that I was working on. And I'm going to merge dev so I get those updates. Cool. Push up those changes. fantastic. All right, so I'm in my feature code suggestion branch. This is a branch we were working on Thursday when last we spoke. I'm not including Friday in that. Friday, we were over on the Visual Studio channel, and we did a full day Xamarin workshop with my friends James Montemagno and Matt Sokup, and it was amazing. 6 hours. I learned a ton about writing mobile apps with Xamarin and C#. Thank you, DevExer. Sunday's better for you than Saturday. All right, maybe we'll make this a regular thing then. But we had a lot of fun on Friday learning about Xamarin. If you want to go back and check it out, it's the video on demand is over on the Visual Studio channel. So if you hop over there, you click videos, you'll see it. It's probably the most recent video you'll see on the list. Hey, there's Alex. Good morning. We just accepted your pull request, and you're going to see your name go across as the top contributor this week to Stream Tools. Major Deville. No, Major, is it? Oh, no. Ha, Major Adville. I got that. That's good. I like what you've done there. Points to you. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate the follow. All right. You have a pet project aimed at Xamarin you're starting this week. Oh, very cool. What do we... Saturday's kind of overlapped Saturday, too. Yeah. Looking back... I would highly recommend learning Git, though. Yes. Haven't learned object-oriented programming yet. Still procedural PHP. That's okay. Object-oriented programming isn't... I've been doing it for 15, almost 20 years. It's not terribly hard to pick up. You need to start thinking like objects, and you'll see what's involved in bringing things together. I tell you what, Andre, I'll make sure that I call out a little bit around classes, object management, and scoping as I go through the project today, so that we're all on the same page. All right. I do want to make sure, and thank you for raising that as a learning point that would be beneficial to you. I'll make sure that we call that out, so that so it helps you out a little bit while we're working here today. And I say we because, of course, I'm looking forward to your feedback as well. So what we started working on Thursday was this idea of doing code suggestions. And I think, actually, what's this? New code suggestion feature. So Janescu has a comment here. Simbra, thank you for the follow. When the viewer types in the chat, !C with that suggestion, if it was working, content moderator as a bot could be tapping as right now to add comments to code for suggestions. Content moderator with custom moderator, detect working code. I'm not following what you have here, Janescu. Trigger chatbot with the code suggestion. Check if match the file we're working on. Write comment to end of that line. Oh, so automatically add it into the editor. That would be interesting. Object-oriented and functional in JavaScript. So there are languages like C# and JavaScript where you can do a little bit of both approaches. Hey, Shmuley, good to see you. Yes, Veronica, it is a team effort. Well said. Any project is really a team effort. Something that's solo ends up going cold and being hard to work on. And we've got a couple other really neat things going on here. Duplicate links, so I still need to fix this, and this is more of a QA thing. I need to really create issues based on this project we're working on. See their own contribution and see typos from my own text. Oh, and be able to fire it right in there. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. So let's talk about the feature that we're going to be working on today. And we had a number of great ideas come out of this. And the idea is this concept of, I want you, the viewer, to be able to send me code live that I'm working on right here. And in fact, I'm going to do the same thing we did last time. I'm going to open up Liveshare I'm going to sign in over here if you don't mind. There we go. I don't know why I have to sign in every time, but whatever. I'm going to open up Liveshare, and I'm going to let you, if you want to. No, don't show me that error message anymore. I'm going to make it read-only. If you'd like to get in and take a look at the code and you have Visual Studio running, hey, Harry03, thank you for the follow. Here's what you can do. I'm going to paste that link in there. Jump on Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio 2017, any version of Visual Studio 2017. Grab that Visual Studio Liveshare extension and click on in, and you can join us and navigate around the project and watch me write code as we're in here. I have it opened up so as many as 30 folks can join. That means about half of us that are watching right now can join. That's okay. Thank you, Shmuley. I appreciate.
Wow.
I appreciate the compliment. After this stream, you're going to stream working on your website. Oh, that'd be cool. All right. So we're going to navigate around here. Stelzy says Git is basically 3 to 4 workflows to learn. Then you have about 80% of your everyday Git navigation. Yes. Bo13, thanks so much for the follow. You're right. It's there is maybe a half dozen commands that you have to learn for Git. And if you are still learning Git, there is a Git cheat sheet. Let me bring that up. That I really, really like, not from Git Tower. Here it is. From GitHub and their user documentation. So they've got cheat sheets here in a bunch of different languages, and for information migrating from Subversion, information about submodules, and for those of us that prefer English, here's the English one with just a few of the commands that you really need to know to get started. So I'm going to post this link right here in the chat room for you. All right, there you go. So let's talk a little bit about the feature here. Hey, there's no Pola. There we go. So I wrote down a bunch of to-dos here for some interesting ideas. And the format that I want folks to be able to use to send code suggestions to me is !code, whatever file it is that I'm working on. A line number, and then some line suggestion. Now that's just so I can get comments from the chat room, but I want to open this up eventually so we get outside the chat room so that we also have, and I didn't list it here, that shows editor at the current place I'm working in VS or VS Code. Sure, go ahead, join in. And I currently have, there we go, we'll let more folks in just a second. Live share. I'm going to turn on so we can see everybody here. There we go, there's Shmuley, there's Nopola. So everybody's in read-only mode, so you're welcome to browse around the project and take a look that's going on. The link, it's just a little bit higher there in the chat room. Link, it's expired. Don't think so. You should be able to use it. There's the link. It's the same link. Give it a try. That should get you in. We've got 5 folks in here, and it should be configured also for the increased guest limit. Yep, Andre's in. So there's Wolfgang in a lovely shade of fuchsia, and Francois is up here. There you go, Francois. I knew Frank was French. All right. I think the GitHub integrations should show us issues in line. Ooh, that would be fun. That would be fun. I mean, there's some great ideas here for what a live coding streams chatbot should be able to do. And it's part of this bigger mission and this bigger feeling that I have personally to make live coding teaching easier, more accessible to folks all over the world right here on Twitch. The existing Visual Studio GitHub. There's a great one in Visual Studio Code that will do that. There we go. I think I know who David is coming in there. David's not his name in the chat, but I think I've tracked him down, and I know who that is. Just nailed the reason I said my name was Frank. That's fine. Ah, there it is. I was right. Okay, so when I start this version of the bot, and this isn't the bot that's currently running in the chat room, it will receive those messages, those chat messages with code suggestions, and I can pop them into a suggestion list that's sitting in a web page right now. Now, we've got a bunch of different things here that we're going to want to check. We're going to want to validate. We do have to put some other validation in here. Am I doing Visual Studio Liveshare so that people can contribute to my Visual Studio? Not right now. I am using it though so that you can see and navigate around the project. And when I'm talking about various pieces of code, you can navigate over there and take a look at it if you'd like. I've turned it on in read-only mode, and hopefully, if you see something, you'll share that with us, with the rest of the folks here on stream, and we can address that. We can go and take care of that thing while we're working towards this feature. If you would like to work on a local repository of this and submit a pull request, that's okay too. And let us know in the chat room, and maybe we'll take that pull request live here during the stream. It shows up in my fancy operator mono code font. Exactly. So what Robert Tables is highlighting is while I'm using dark theme and console-less font, and I'm at 16-point font or something like that, this will show up in whatever theme you're using in your Visual Studio so that it's comfortable and runs the way that you like to write and work with code. That's one of the great things about Liveshare. So if you'd like to tune in, if you'd like to be able to explore and navigate around the code in Visual Studio while I'm working, you're welcome to. And there's the link in chat if you'd like to join in. How did we live before this? I know, right? Andre says, acquired an access token on the VSO account. Failed to sign in with the user. Your sign-in token has expired. Please sign out and again to refresh it. Ugh. Failed to join a collaboration session. Your sign-in token has expired. Oh, that's annoying. Hey, 4P3S. I found that it does not work well with some syntax hiders. Yeah, so Liveshare is very much an experimental feature, and it is coming online a little bit more. So Shmuley points out firewall rules prevent some interactions with Liveshare. What you can do to get around the firewall is you can actually configure direct connections all the time. So it is in the options here. Connection mode. Instead of relay, you can force this to direct so that it'll always connect directly to the other folks that are connecting. Now, right now, mine was set to relay. If I flip that to auto, it will automatically use whatever is the best connection option. It'll figure out the best way for you to connect to me and go through it. Relay will route through an Azure service to connect you to me. So, logged out and logged into Visual Studio again twice. Let me turn that over from relay to auto. Let's see if we can get that in. On a Mac using Visual Studio Code? Yes! Robert Tables. Yes! So, all right, I don't want to spend too much more time on that. I want to get into working on this a little bit. So one of the things, and I'm going to leave this out here, is some of this validation that we had suggested up here, and those of you connected, the 5 of you connected, you're seeing me highlight now. Blacklisting users, blacklisting files. There's Shmuley. Some of these features, I'm going to kick these over to a GitHub issue. So let's call this code suggestions command validation. We need to validate parameters passed in on the on the command through the bot. Example, line number should be a number. Does the file referenced exist in the solution or folder that we're working in? So I'm going to label this as an enhancement, as a good first issue, and I want to leave this open so that one of you can pick it up and work on it if you'd like. It's certainly something that I can write here on stream, but I want to give an opportunity for one of our pair programmers to contribute. You weren't able to connect. Oh man, that makes me feel bad. I mean, I've got 6 folks connected right now, so that there's something is working. I'm not quite sure what's working everywhere, but we've got a good start. Yeah, Veronica, you can connect Visual Studio Code to Visual Studio Code. Works great. Visual Studio Code to Visual Studio, and to Visual Studios always works. And it works with not just .NET, but there's like 50 different programming languages it works with. Go, C++, JavaScript, TypeScript. You don't need to be using .NET to take advantage of Visual Studio Liveshare. All right. So, note opened an issue, and that issue is 166 to track these. All right. Now, just so it's not too distracting, I'm going to turn off the read-only user visibility for right now. So only when I'm following you will I see your names, okay? Can it work with Visual Studio for Mac too? They haven't built it there yet. Visual Studio for Mac has a different plugin model, so if they are working on it, it's taking them a little bit longer. That's a question for our friend Jonathan Carter. We've seen him on stream. He's the program manager for Liveshare. He can help out with answering that question. Okay, so I have a way to receive these suggestions, and I have them formatted right now on a web page. I haven't written a Visual Studio plugin in a really long time, so I'm kind of rusty on it. Do I start writing the plugin, or do we write an ability to copy those entries from a web page so that I can paste them in here? What do you think, chat room? Should I crack open a plugin here and start working through that? I think I could. Right? So thinking about a Visual Studio plugin, a Visual Studio extension, yeah. It would have a .NET SignalR client so that it listens to my web server, because when I receive this in my code suggestion manager, I raise a SignalR event and I publish information about that suggestion. And then I take that, and right now I'm painting it on a web page just so we can make that work. So, all right, let's go after the plugin. Let's take a look at it. Bo13 asks, do I prefer Windows over Mac OS to work or develop in? I'm a longtime Windows developer, so I do prefer Windows just because of inertia. I did spend the month of May, and that's a long time ago, completely on the Mac, coding live on a Mac with .NET here on stream. And I wasn't uncomfortable. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. If that makes you happy, great. And I did use Linux for a month also. Ubuntober. We did Ubuntu all through the month of October. So I think if working in those environments makes you happy, fantastic. Go for it. Visual Studio 2019, Harry03 asks about. I haven't used it yet. It's available to me as a internal, not even alpha build, but an internal build on the corporate network, and I haven't grabbed it yet. They want us to start dog fooding it. I haven't grabbed it yet. I want to make sure that there's a public preview first before I start using it on stream. But I promise you, our pair programmers in the chat room, when it does become available, I'll be using it here on stream. Okay? Could I share the extension logic code with Visual Studio Code and VS for Mac? That's not a bad idea, Shmuley. Let's start building the. Let's start a project here for our live coding extension, and let me come back to that because I don't quite know where the separation might be between those. But let's take a look. Good place to get exposure, figure out what works for you, goes for IDEs, languages, and frameworks. Yes. Hello, Waddell. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us in there in the chat room. Liveshare is a really cool feature. Oh, yeah. So, actually, let's see what happens. So, for those of you that are connected, and I'm going to post that link in the chat room one more time. If you want to connect and be read-only so you can wander around the project, go right ahead and click through. There you go. There's Wayne joining us. So I'm going to add the project here, and then I'll come back and answer some more questions. So I'm going to add a new project to my solution. Let's see what we got here. So I'm not building for Windows Desktop. I'm actually building, extensibility. It's not an analyzer. It's not an item template. And it's not refactoring. This is for C#. I think it's over here. Please tell me I don't think I have my extensibilities for Visual Studio installed in this version. Well, that's going to feel bad. Right? Visual C#. Yeah, I don't see the Visual Studio extensions installed in this version. Oh no. Oh no. What are we going to do? What are we going to do, chat room? I'm going to need that. Yeah, I need that project type. Let me think about that for a second while I answer questions here from Waddell. Hey, Waddell. How much C# would you say you need to know to get a job as a .NET developer? I don't think you need to know as much as folks might suggest. To get a job as a junior .NET developer, right? I would be looking for folks to know basic object-oriented design, to know some of the basic language structure. I wouldn't expect you to know everything around events and delegates and actions and functions, but to have at least an idea so that you can learn from other folks and learn from the code that you're working on. Install and work on something else in the meantime. Well, here's what I might be able to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check my other Visual Studio install and see if I have it running over here. You saw it was installed? Is it? How do you know? You can't see what's installed on mine. If I say add new project, .NET standard, class library. No, I don't see the project type for that. If I say file new over here in this one, Robert Tables with the 10-bit cheer. Thank you so much for that. I missed it. No, it's not a... I missed it? V6. Let me add this. Go back. Where do you see V6? Oh. Thank you. You're right. Thank you, Shmuley. All right, so I don't need this one. You're right. I had the right project type. So let's add a new project to the solution. All right, extensibility v6. Why is it trying to go to cdev? / fritz.stream tools. And the v6 we're creating is going to be fritz.livecoding. Yeah, I think that's a good name to start. Do I have the SDK installed? Yes, I do. Sure looks like it. So a V6, we call it a V6 because it's VSIX. So we call it V6. Stands for a Visual Studio integration or Visual Studio integration extension, integrated extension, something like that. But it's basically an extension. So you've got all kinds of features that you can build and you can add on using this technology. And it's been forever since I've written this. So there's all kinds of documentation. There's samples available on GitHub. And what I want to find is, and I need to go back and answer a couple more of your questions here in the chat room. I want to go back and make sure that I can find a good sample here. And actually, maybe somebody in the chat room can look at this. Here's the extensibilities samples. Let me post this link here in the chat. Why isn't it going into the chat? There it is. It's because I scrolled up. I need to find one that is I think maybe this one, a tool window where we'll be able to see the list of suggestions coming in. Maybe it's a tool window. Maybe it's error list. I'm not sure. I'm going to answer a couple questions from the chat room, but pair programmers, take a look and see if you can find what would be a good sample here that we can start with as to collect that list of suggestions that we're going to get from the chat room here. So let me roll back and just answer a few other questions here. The extension logic code suggestion sharing. Yep, I got that question. How much C#? I already answered that. Thank you for building such a great community here on Twitch. Oh, thank you, Tobo Nautilus. I got you into open source contributing to the Microsoft Docs, and now you're going to get a Hacktober shirt. Awesome. Guten Nachmittag, Tobo Nautilus. That's great. It's freezing here in Philadelphia also. I am right there. One more to-do from the last time I was working on this code. Stop file names from being treated as URLs by the bot. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Let's wander over here, and I want to point out we're doing the Bits for Bytes promotion. I'll only highlight when there's 100 or more bits cheered, and we'll get that cheer graffiti into our code. But Robert Tables is a frequent cheerer, and he's got a number of graffiti items in here. So if we go back to the chatbot, the question is really around that URL when it does the lookup and it tries to find it. That is, where is it? That is I forget the name of that. It's not the image descriptor. Hyperlink command. So I want to make sure that it's going to be in here. Tell you what, I think you're right there. Who wrote that? That was Smab that wrote that. I think. Yeah, let's add another issue here. Fritzbot should not recognize file names in code suggestions as a hyperlink. That's pretty self-explanatory what that is. I'm going to label that as a bug. It's a good first issue for somebody to come through, and if you're welcome to work on it if you'd like. Let me go back to the code. What's a good front-end framework for beginners? React or Angular? Asks Ahmed Balak. So Ahmed, both of those frameworks will get you in and get you well past beginner's JavaScript. And if that's what you're working on, they're both very prescriptive, but as soon as you need to do something that the framework doesn't support, you're going to be lost if you don't know JavaScript. So I would suggest learning some basic JavaScript to start. Just the basics, don't have to get in too far. Just how to interact with the DOM, the document object model, how to interact with events, and a little bit around object orientation. And then I would lean towards Angular, actually, because Angular is extremely prescriptive and will hide a lot of JavaScript from you. And the fact that they're encouraging folks to use TypeScript means that you're going to be able to get in and get some validation from the TypeScript compiler before you ship any documentation, any code to folks out there, and they've got some great documentation as well. Let's see. Maybe it is an analyzer. What would be an analyzer, Shmuley? Yes, we can bug Mads if we have questions. I've been thinking about inviting Mads on. This might be something fun to invite Mads to work on with us. Hello, y'all. Hey, Uncle Bill. Yes. So Robert Tables, look at that. Answered that before I even got to my answer. Learning from Free Code Camp. That's a great resource. What do you all think about the async quick info example? I don't know. Async quick info. That's this one. Will I upload the stream to YouTube where I were crafting? Harry asks, will I be uploading the Xamarin workshop? That one, I've got to figure out where to land it, but it will be available for the next 60 days minimum here on Xamarin, on Twitch, if you go over there. So Twitch TV/Visual Studio, click on the videos link and you'll see it's the top item right there. Using WinJS for a website. Wow, Shmuley. Okay, that's impressive. How about an editor extension like an adornment of the line, since the code suggestion has the file online? Ooh, Alex, that's a neat idea. An editor item template, create a classifier. So, let's see if there's there's no screenshot of what this does. That's not a bad idea. To add classifiers, adornments, and margins. So an adornment, now Alex, yeah, the squiggle. So think about this. In chat room, let me know. I think Alex has a pretty cool idea. These things, the checks and minuses that you see over here that come from live unit testing, these are called an adornment that appear in this margin. Same thing with the little screwdriver you see here. And it's giving you an option to take an action. So if we have, I like that idea. If we have an error list, so I want to be able to see a complete list, including the names of the folks that suggest, right? So we can find where these things are. If I'm able to click on one of these, or when we publish this so other live coders can do this, if you can click on one of these and it navigate you to that file, into that place, so I can see here's what it is, and maybe just like this, be able to highlight and show here's the suggested change, here's what was submitted, and then we can talk about it. That's really cool. And then maybe squiggles. Yeah. Oh man, I've got shivers. Ooh, I like this idea. Ooh, yeah. I like it. Oh my gosh. All right, Veronica likes it. Robert Tables likes it. Mordecai thinks it's a good idea. Yeah. Great find, Alex. Great find. Where is it? Points to you. There you go. All right. So let's start breaking this down. Let's figure out what we need here. So a V6 extension is actually, when you look at the properties of this is actually a .NET framework project. And it's going to have C# in it. It has this manifest that contains information about it. Hey, Brave Cobra. Bringing in gists, that might be a great way to receive content also. That's somebody want to create an issue for that one. I don't want to get over there. That's a really neat idea. If somebody submits a code suggestion as a gist, be able to click in it and pull that. It might be overkill, but let's parking lot it for right now. Let's get the functionality working. And then these are things we can extend and bring in later. A linter would be a good idea. Yeah. Well, an error list, I'm referring to the error list generically because it's a nice table here that I can have a list of things. So if I can have, instead of code, description, blah, 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 have username, file, and then, the beginning of what the code is that they submitted. And here's all the suggestions listed here. To be able to click into those and navigate directly to those locations. would be pretty good. Which Git project are we in? We are in fritz.streamtools. Let's copy and paste that into chat. Have this clip. Make a clip with a suggestion. That would be cool. Maybe, and then be able to attach video? Okay. I don't know. All right, so let's dig into a couple of these. This is async quick info. So this is the quick info that appears like this. That's one idea. But this was the idea from Alex, was be able to show an adornment, right? That thing in the margin that highlights and shows us exactly what the change is, very much like what the analyzers do. That should be a bot command. What should be a bot command, Veronica? Give me a little bit more context. Which project I'm currently in? Which GitHub project? Yeah, that is good. That is a good idea. Open an issue. We can make this. And folks, if you want to create a pull request for a command to highlight that, let's do it. I think this is a good idea, but I think this is second. After I get my list, let me start with just getting a list of the suggestions into Visual Studio. And then when I click on them, navigate to that piece of code. Or if I'm in a piece of code that has, if I am looking at a file that has a suggestion, display these. I think this is really good, but I think this is step 2, if that's okay with everybody. I want to start with just getting a list of code, because I think that's going to be easier. Make it an analyzer. Well, the problem with an analyzer, Shmuley, is I need to have the analyzer in the projects that I'm receiving suggestions in, and the analyzer would have to need to be listening for that suggestion from somewhere. CodeRush has the feature to add stuff as comments to code. Yes, it does. Add in images and things. So let me come back here. I'm not sure if tool window is it. I think error list is going to be the one to start with here. Generates errors in the error list when you make spelling errors in the editor. Now I want to build my own error list. Let me see here. Oh, wait a sec. Is this so there's an output window, and it's just adding into the error list. Analyzers can be in a v6. Okay. All right. Maybe we are onto something there. It's not quite the error list. Editor I don't think it's toolbox. TextMate Grader, typing speed meter. That's kind of cool, but no. I don't know. I want to create my own window, my own toolbox. Well, maybe it is toolbox. Modify the editor to support a custom file type and construct toolbox items for the document. Now so that's going into toolbox. I want my own light bulb? What's light bulb? To provide custom content for your text files. Well, I think this actually plays very well with what Alex was suggesting here. I think those two fit together nicely. Let me leave that one open so we can come back and reference it. An intra text adornment might be there as well. But I want my own custom list. Could do a blue message in the error list rather than an error or warning. Oh. So description maybe the description isn't spelling, Maybe the description is code suggestion. And then we have a code suggestion adornment that it triggers. Okay. I got it. I see where we're going here. Man. All right, you guys are on the ball today. All right. So let me start with this. And instead of it listening for spelling mistakes, listen for the code suggestions. And then we create our code suggestion adornment, and I like the light bulb. It's now a screwdriver. Maybe we figure out something cool and fun that we can put there instead of the light bulb as a fun emote to put in there. All right. So let me start with the error list. Does that sound good to you, chat room? To start with this, and we'll create, instead of errors, code suggestions. And there'll be messages that appear. Yeah, good call, Alex. Good call. All right.
Do it live.
Yeah, we're going to do it live. We're going to build it all live. All right, so let me look at the code here. Ew. All right, so what's in the manifest? Yeah. Whatever. I don't... Error, spelling error, PNG. Yeah, okay, so that's the documentation thing. C# bot icon as an adornment icon for a code suggestion. That might be fun. Could be a Twitch icon. Yeah! Fairy Wings, thanks so much for the host. I'm not getting suggestions over there. The event list. Is that Ponographer? Ponographers, thank you for the follow. Hey, Fairy Wings. I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining us.
Wow.
Chat room is brainstorming. We are. You know what I'm going to do while we're here? I've got Fairy Wings has been a tremendous supporter, and I met her at TwitchCon, and let's throw her a VIP. Thank you so much. And we're going to have Fairy Wings on as one of our beginner streamers in December. So I know Fairy Wings has a schedule that we're going to work with. And our good friend of mine, Steffi, who's a champion Hearthstone player, she's going to be joining us. She's starting on, she's a beginner web developer. She's taking some courses. Hey, I shoot to gun. Thank you for the follow. And she's going to join us and do some real beginner web development stuff in December. I think we're going to allocate maybe Sunday mornings. I'm not sure which day yet. And we'll do that beginner session. So I'm trying to pull apart how this runs, how this spell checker works, so that we can drop in these spelling, instead of spelling mistakes, code suggestions into our error list, so that anything that you folks write gets dropped right there. And then we'll do something similar at some point in the future to make it work with VS Code also. Oh yeah, we'll be doing the HTMLs then. Absolutely, Fairy Wings. So I'm trying to figure out where's a good entry point here. What is Sync Manager? Every consumer of data from an iTable source provides an iTable sync to record the changes. We give the consumer an iDisposable that they hang on to. Oh, okay. So this is to hang on to as long as they're interested in our data and they dispose of it when they are done. Okay, so it looks like we need to create a sync manager that will manage interactions with the provider. So we need a provider instead of a spell checker provider. I think we're going to end up building. This will be one instance. There will be one instance of this class per Visual Studio session, and this reports spelling errors and comments. View tagger provider iTable source. Yes, this is it. Okay, so if we start with this spell checker provider and we make something that's code suggestion provider, and we put this into our code, we'll be able to listen for the code suggestions and then wire them up. So I'm going to grab the raw code for this. So GitHub has this raw button that lets you get just the text. Because this is all shared and freely accessible for folks to use, I'm going to grab a copy of it, create a new class here in our project, and let's call this Code Suggestion Provider. Cool. And I'm going to paste in that other code, and we'll use this as a starting point to learn from. Let's move all these using statements. Come on, go away. Thank you. Move them up here. And I'll get rid of this namespace because I want it in my namespace. So namespaces, for those of you who aren't familiar with C#, are a way for you to organize your code. Instead of just having files, you have namespaces so that when things are compiled, they're sitting in a project and they're nested inside of a hierarchy when you reference them inside your code. Hey, Black Vulcan, thank you for the follow. The new file just showed up in Visual Studio Code. Yes! So much red. Nah, that's okay. Why isn't it showing me? All right. Let's get some of these using statements in here. No? Why am I not? Is this the right project type? Weird when Visual Studio in the chat is so far ahead of my buffered stream. Yeah. I need to add references. And I should be able to add Visual Studio references. You're kidding. Hang on. Yeah, I don't see Visual Studio in my list here. What was that? Okay. Where the heck am I going to get? Where did the Visual Studio references come from? I thought they were in like C program files. It's program files x86, isn't it? Microsoft Visual Studio. Yeah. I don't think I have all the stuff installed. Right, if I go, let me check there. Add reference. Yeah. All right then. Microsoft Visual Studio. Yeah, right? Look at all the stuffs. Look at all the stuffs. So if I had stuff like that, sure. Utilities. That's always a dangerous. Seeing that one there. Shell table control. Ew. I don't want the interop stuff. Shell 15. Why is it there twice? That's weird. Settings. We'll eventually need that. Not that one. Let's start with that. Okay, that clears up some things. System component model. That's probably going to come in with this one, isn't it? Nope. Nope. Man, you don't realize just how much... Hey, Squidward Rocks, thank you for the follow. You don't realize how much you appreciate .NET Framework, .NET Core, until you need to go find some of these things that aren't necessarily in .NET Framework. Grab that one. That should take care of that. Take care of some of these. Tag type. What's tag type from? I don't know. Let's see here. Coming soon, Fritz talks about the code he just changed. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here, right? Consider it like a movie preview in a world where Fritz is writing code. Yeah, right? Did I install the packages? Individual components. Yeah. Wait, what packages? In a world where Git merge conflicts have scorched the earth, one man on a mission can rebase time and space. Oh yeah, we can do that. What is in project new items? Yeah. Right, if I go project, add new item, right? If I go extensibility, oh yeah, look at all, oh yeah. It's there, we've got that stuff. Mads has a blog post about using a NuGet package. Is there? Can somebody grab the link and share that? And wait a sec. How did I not get Moz on the VIP list? There we go. And while I'm here, I'm going to make Alex a mod. There we go. Cool. All right. So I did a coming soon. I did a. If you watch my friend Quill Tony, I think she might be broadcasting right now. Actually, she makes quilts live in this really cool creative stream that she does. Yeah, I've got missing references all over the place here, and it's not finding them. I need to figure out where they are and add them. So if you watch Quill Tony, I did a very movie commercial like recording for her, promoting her channel. I introduced. Oh, very cool. Oh, Robert Tables, you've got to meet Fierce Kittens, Robert Tables. She sews in the evenings. She's a developer for a prominent gaming studio. She doesn't share some of that information. She likes to keep it anonymous, but she is an amazing coder. We've had her on stream in the past here. But Fierce Kittens wrote a bot that most folks in the creative streams use. Am I getting any of these? No. Yeah, I need to figure out all these references to add in here. She is amazeballs. But Fierce Kittens is doing a charity drive right now for St. Jude, and she's going to do a Julia Child stream. Cooking with her mother, and they're both going to act like Julia Child. Cooking and teaching how to cook. Next weekend, I think it is, and it is going to be hysterical. Oh, yeah. So every now and again, she writes code on stream. We need to do a good job as a developer community supporting her, because she gets a lot of trolls when she's coding on stream, and we need to lift her up if we can. I am at a loss as to where I'm supposed to get some of these from, because my control dot isn't finding these things. So you know what we can do? We can probably cheat here and go into the project file and figure out the references in here and say, oh, there they are. Let's install them. Core utility imaging. Yeah, here we go. So let's add some of these. Extensions, Microsoft Visual Studio. There's core utility. Imaging was another one down here somewhere. Well, yeah, there it is. What else? Shell Framework. I think I have Shell Framework. Shell Framework? No, I don't. Interop. Text data. We'll take that. Thank you. Text logic. Sure. Text UI WPF. I think I got both of those. Text manager. Well, there's a bunch of interop ones for that. Which one did it grab? Interop 8. I'll pass on that. Visual Studio threading and validation. Threading, validation. Gameric. I just recently learned about a command called curl. I wonder if bots, which has some kind of access to the internet, use that command to handle their connection and stuff. So curl is a command line tool that you can use to fetch things from the web, and it works here inside of PowerShell as well. It works on Bash. So if I go to things like API, github.com, it fetches it and shows me here's what it got. Now you can put that all in one command line so that it's not. But bots typically have things compiled up inside of them, and curl isn't what you're going to be executing as part of a bot. You're going to compile up all the code to connect, manage that connection, and interact. There's some great examples about how to do that with Node.js that you can find. And I've got some great samples here that I've worked through how I do that with C#. libcurl will do that. Yep, and it basically enables it. 7lover7, okay. Is there live coding with Java? I haven't seen any. wget does the same thing. Yep. So I haven't seen anybody doing live coding with Java. And that's actually what inspired me to do live coding with .NET, with C#, because I didn't see too many people out there doing it, and I wanted to make this a resource that folks could contribute to. All right, I think we got everything. I think we got all of our references. The only things that I see red lines under right now are things that are appropriate for spell checking, right, based on that sample that we grabbed. I see it's referencing Sync Manager and Spell Checker. Just to make those things go away, let's control dot and generate a class in a new file for those. So there's Sync Manager. Visual Studio created that for me because I did that control dot. And instead of Spell Checker here, let's call this Code Suggestion Proxy. Why proxy? Because this is going to be listening for what's coming off of the service. So it's that proxy. It's managing that connection to my service. Where a manager would actually be managing the code suggestions. This is actually just going to be managing that connection and raising appropriate information for me as the provider to interact with. Now, this isn't Spell Checker provider. This is the code suggestion provider. So I'm going to use my F2 hotkey here to rename this to Code Suggestion Provider. All right. Who manages the managers? The watchmen do. You're studying Java. Oh, cool. That's great. Guardsman Bob is coding in Java from time to time. Okay. I didn't know that, Seth. Thanks for sharing that. Hey, Gareth. Good to see you. All right. So, spell checker, data source, spell checker. No, let's call this not spell checker. Let's call this the data source code suggestion. And I'm going to rename this also to code suggestion data source. All right. So this is going to provide and put the text into our error list window for us. We need to establish that connection to our service so it'll receive from the chatbot the actual suggestions. On the F2 rename, Liveshare went a little flickery. All right. You were recording a podcast. Congratulations. Let us know when that gets posted, Gareth, and we will cross-promote. Okay. So we have a constructor for this. Let's move past the fields. We have a constructor. It's an importing constructor that brings in a table manager provider. I think that's the table of errors. iText document factory service. We'll figure out what that is later. Classifier aggregate service. Don't know what that is. But we needed this for when it was spell checking, so I'll leave that the way it is. Create tagger. Create a tagger that does spell checking on the view buffer combination. Only attempt to spell check on the view's edit buffer. I don't know quite what that is. Hey, can you view the live share? Sure, let's copy the link back into the chat room. If you'd like to join the read-only live share, there it is. I should give a command to the bot to be able to send that to the bot so that folks can have that whispered to them and they can join. But go ahead and click through there. If you have Liveshare installed, you can join as a read-only guest and watch along like these other folks here. I have space for 30 folks to join and watch. There's Gareth. And now Gareth has my code, my project, appearing in his Visual Studio whether it's Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio 2017. So, hey, there's Mike from Player GG. Good morning. All right. So, here's I need to figure out, it's not the spell checker. Table source members. The string should, in general, be localized since it will be displayed in any user interface that lets the user pick which table sources should be subscribed to by an instance of the table control. Let's add that in. It really isn't needed for the error list, however, because it auto-subscribes to all the data sources. All right, then I'll just call this code suggestions. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Subscribe. Return a new sync manager. Well, I don't have a sync manager. Well, I do, but it doesn't take these arguments yet. So if I control dot, let's generate that constructor so that goes away, and we'll figure out what to do with it later. Cannot convert to iDisposable. Well, nope. So this sync manager needs to be an iDisposable, so let's add that interface. iDisposable. There we go. And I'll control dot so I get my using statement. I'll control dot one more time so we implement that interface. Actually, don't implement that interface. Bad idea. Implement it with the dispose pattern so that we properly clean up. All right. I'll talk more about dispose pattern as we build our sync manager later. So we add a sync manager. Can happen from any thread, so be appropriately thread safe. No pressure. In practice, it will probably be called only once from the UI thread. Oh yes, Mike, we do need to catch up. I want to make sure that we get your stuff all set later. Oh, we've got plenty of space. Anyone have a recommended podcast about .NET? Asks Zoc Newt. Check out .NET Rocks. Always love .NET Rocks. Really good stuff. I'm a frequent guest on it, Gareth. Like once a year, I'm on .NET Rocks. So you can listen to me run my mouth over there. We actually had .NET Rocks. We had a crossover stream here. If you go to the YouTube channel and you go back a few months, you'll see we recorded my podcast with them about live streaming code on a stream. So you can either listen to the podcast or you can watch the stream, take your pick, but it's in both places. So, test. Hey, crows. And .NET rolls. Oh. Thank you, Brave Cobra. All right, so the managers are going to open. The manager is a list of sync managers. Okay. We're going to add our sync manager. For each spell checker in spell checkers. Well, this is our code suggestion. So let's call this not spell checkers. Let's call this code suggesters. And then instead of calling these that, let's call this code suggester. What do you think? Then manager add spell checker. Well, manager doesn't have that. So let's call this add code suggester and get that looking right. Generate that method. And we'll figure out what to do with that later. All right. So that knows how to remove it. Add, I don't want to add spell checker. Add code suggester. This isn't a spell checker. This is going to be a code suggestion proxy. Code suggester. All right. Yeah. Okay. Almost there. Manager. Not, and this was add code suggester. Remove. Okay, so this is code suggestion proxy. Code suggester. Hey, there we go. We'll add some more folks in if you'd like to watch. So now instead of remove spell checker, it's going to be remove code suggester. And we'll generate that method. We need to have an update sync. Okay, we'll figure out what that does in a minute. So now we have this provider that knows how to do that interaction, except for this tagging thing. I don't know what this does. DNR introduced you to me. Oh, wow, cool. Hey, Syra Lash. Trolled by the bot when trying to type .NET Rocks. Yeah, you can get, right, .NET Rocks is at that location, and it should, there we go. All right. So I'm not quite sure what the tagger is. It feels like that's going to do a little bit of the adornment stuff Alex was suggesting. Yeah. My sync manager over here that we started adding, I don't entirely know what this should do. My code suggestion proxy, this is what is going to make the connection, the SignalR connection out and do the interaction. So to receive your suggestions. So let's manage NuGet packages. I'm going to browse. And I want to get the SignalR client. Come on. Oh, that would be a good command. This, well, wait a sec. That's the other one. ASP.NET Core SignalR. ASP.NET Core SignalR common. Microsoft ASP.NET Core SignalR client. Client for ASP.NET Core SignalR. That feels right. I think that's the right one. So let's add that package. Right? Right? So what are we working on? A bot that checks user code for errors? No. So Cyralash, I'm going to let you be able to issue commands to send code into the IDE. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it, Smab. Yep. And we had a nice discussion earlier. Robert Tables and Veronica and a couple of the other folks, Brave Cobra, had some really cool ideas for how to integrate this in additional features, and we've been slowly creating issues to kind of track what it is that we're going to do with this. So my code suggestion proxy is, let's just throw some pseudocode in here, right? I need to create connection to the bot HTTP endpoint. Listen for suggestions. I need to get the current list of suggestions. Listen for suggestions. And then raise an event. Right? I think raise an event. Or call a method to publish that suggestion. And we might need to do a user interface thing here to raise some. Maybe auto-generate a PR. I don't know. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for that kind cheer. And because we're running our Bits for Bytes promotion right now, I'm going to drop a little bit of cheer graffiti in here. This is Mike from Player GG. So Player GG is a service that you can use to do all kinds of social interaction with your stream, with any kind of marketing that you're trying to do, so that you can run raffles, run contests, and get people to earn tickets, right? Earn entries into your contests while they're also participating in your social media campaign. So thank you so much, Mike. So Mike cheered 100 on November 18. right? November 18? Wait a sec. November 18. Yeah, this is my 4-year anniversary with Microsoft today. Who knew? Drop table mortgage PMI. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Chatbot. Awesome. Definitely appreciate the shout out.
We're going to bump that to 600. So this class that we're working on here that Mike's cheering while we're building, this is what'll do that interaction with the live chat so that we can get that information posted over there. Thank you, Darth Minos. And yes, if you want to join the live chat, I'll copy that link. The Liveshare. You also need to be able to dismiss and complete a suggestion. Ooh, yeah. Good point. Dismiss a suggestion. Dismiss or complete. Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. You can click that link if you have Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, and you can join as a read-only contributor on the project right now. So this is the interaction that I need to build, and this is going to be really a .NET Standard compatible class. .NET Standard is a set of contracts that is independent of a .NET framework, whether it's the Windows .NET framework. Thank you, Gareth.
Happy anniversary. Great stream too, Mr. Fritz.
I am going to add Gareth in here. And it's not 100 from Gareth. There we go. Thank you very much for those kind cheers. Of course, we'll make a donation to Girl Develop It, and you're going to be entered into the leaderboard there, and whoever has the most amount of cheer at the end of the month will get to do a pair programming stream with me. Thank you, Smap. Yes, my stream anniversary is next week, and I will not be there. There is no underscore in Gareth. Oh, you're right. And Gareth actually has a cap here. There we go. There's Brave Cobra joining us. All right. TLAP88, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. So we should be able to rate this in a very, like I was saying, a very .NET Standard friendly way so that we'll be able to deploy it to other platforms. But I'm not sure. I have to think about that a little bit when we get to Visual Studio Code, because I think Visual Studio Code extensions are written in JavaScript. So we might have to write that differently. What is a suggested way to deal with localization? There are localization features in ASP.NET Core that will automatically take care of that for you. I would have to dig it up and hit the docs, but it's when you use display name or label features in ASP.NET Core, it will by default hit a resource and go through and do the localization for you. They are written in JavaScript, so we won't be able to use this in VS Code. Okay, so I have this proxy. That's what we want to do. Let me go back to here. So let me look at what the sync manager does now. So now that we know a little bit about what this does, it receives my spell checker provider and an iTable data sync. Okay, let me go back. Right, so my code suggestion provider and an iTable data sync, and it saves those off. Okay. Dispose is removing the sync manager from the provider. All right. So down here, managed objects. Yes. So, right, it's from the provider. Let me rename this because I like to have underscores in front of these objects for my fields. So let's say code suggestion provider, remove sync manager, this, right? Add spell checker, remove spell checker, update sync. That seems pretty straightforward. Let me just copy those. If that's all this is doing, not add spell checker, but add code suggestion provider. No. Add code suggester, right? Isn't that what I called it? Something like that? And instead of spell checker, it was a code suggestion proxy. Code suggestion proxy. And I'll rename this to code suggester. Oops. I didn't do a refactor. All right. So now it's got a factory method on it. Huh? All right. Well, generate that thing for me too. Yeah, it's a property. Go make something over there. I don't know what that is yet, but we'll figure it out. Can I use Blazor? Oh, Cyralash. That's a great idea. So a sync is a way for it's a place for you to send commands, and it'll automatically dispatch them. So we're going to send things into this, and we're going to be receiving and dispatching from our code suggestion provider. Assistant to the manager of the factory. Now cut that out. You wound me, Robert Tables. I tell you. All right, so now we have a factory here, and we have to figure out what that does. But my sync manager does its thing now. The spell checker was where it was doing work, and this is what we're emulating. A sync is a class or function designed to receive incoming events. Yeah. Not necessarily as a queue. Not necessarily. All right, so our spell checker. So this is, yeah, analogous to my code suggestion proxy. It receives a provider, a text view, and a text buffer. What's it doing with those? Because I am actually doing something that's a bit of a... That is a bit of a spell checking type of thing here. All right, let's mimic this a little bit. Right? What do you think? Is there a way to stay aligned with whichever file I have open? Yes. You'll find a button in there that you can click. So if you right click on me, there's a follow that you'll be able to see. Click that and it'll stay with me as I navigate around. Does that assistant have a helper? No. I think I see where you're going here. I'm going to copy out this constructor, and let's take a look at what this is actually doing here. Internal code suggestion proxy, and this is going to receive a code suggestion provider, iText view, and text buffer. That's around the Visual Studio. Okay. Save off these things. Okay. Generate those fields. Sure. So I know where those are. Get the name of the underlying document buffer. I don't know if I need that. Might not be needed. Turn on spell checking for the box we're using to do spell checking. What's a box? I don't know what a box is. We'll get to VS Code. We'll get there. UI thread dispatcher equals, okay, we're going to need one of those. Spelling errors factory. What's a spelling errors factory? Table entries snapshot factory base. I'd like to buy a noun, please. Okay. I guess this is something like we need. grab this. Create another class. And let's call this Code Suggestions Factory. So we're learning how to build this, right? Learning is right, we're following along with how this was running. Code suggestion proxy. Now we've got these snapshots here. We're going to receive a, code suggestion proxy. Code suggester. And I got to figure out what to do with this snapshot. Rename that. Okay. And I've got to figure out what snapshot is. Okay, that's everything for here except for what that snapshot is. What is a snapshot? We're not using an immutable list here. We can modify the list. Count, version number, index of. Just create a helper for that. Don't feel bad when coming up with such names as work. Yeah, absolutely. We come up with crazy names all the time. Yeah, more Googling, Stack Overflow, and trying to figure out what these things do. You'd feel awful and rejected. All right, let's see here. Try get value. Oh, this is what's actually... This is the spelling error. Right? This is the actual... Right? On this file... I don't know what version number is. Count, version number, index of... I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, this is the... Yeah. This looks like the stuff in the error list. Yeah, I think you're right, Stelzy. All right, so let's use this as a base. And we'll figure out how to butcher it. Copy that. Oh, sure, let's admit. So let's add a code suggestion snapshot. I'm going to use the hotkey again. Code suggestion snapshot. Oh, thank you, Robert, for that comment. Yes, there are John Skeet quotes that we can reference, right? John Skeet is immutable. If something's going to change, it's going to have to be for the rest of the universe. How long have I been coding for? Asks Asil. Gosh, I've been coding for about 20 years. Thanks for asking. It's been fun. I think it's something that I really enjoy working on, participating in, and it's something that brings me joy to share with other folks. I really enjoy spending time with you, collaborating and learning and figuring out how we can make products and tools and things better for everybody. Now wait, there's a spelling error object here. What's a spelling error? Is spelling error the POCO for this? Oh, there's a snapshot span here. Ugh. All right, let's create one of these. Can I just highlight this? I'm going to just drop that in right here and then rename this from spelling error to code suggestion. And then move it to another file. Control dot, move type to its own file. Goodbye. And we'll figure that out in a little bit. So let's see what this does. So this is code suggestion snapshot, a list of code suggestions. It knows what those are now. We have a count, we have a version number. We'll figure out what those things are later. Debug, yeah. Are you kidding? It's not giving me using system.diagnostics. Ugh. John Skeet cannot be mocked. No. Why doesn't it know what debug is? Debug is too a thing. I'll teach you. I'll teach you. Do I happen to know of any good streams, lengthy videos about test-driven development that's more than just another calculator tutorial? I shoot the gun. Check out my friend Steve Smith, who has, he's our Dallas. He's got some really great videos on Pluralsight about unit testing and test-driven development. Our friend DevChatter has a series that he's been doing about it. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Captain Salt. So, copy that, Ghost Rider. Yeah. Kent Dodds has been doing a testing series. Okay, cool. So, yeah, some of these things it doesn't know what they are yet. All right. Try get value from my code suggestion snapshot. Documentation, spelling. We'll figure out what those are. What's a run? I don't know what a run is. Is there a using statement there? Nope. Inline. What's a new list inline? Nope. Don't know what that is. VS error category. Nope. Don't know what that is. We'll figure these out. We'll figure them out. Okay. Let's come back to what this is. We'll figure out where that plugs in. We had code suggestion. We built this. So snapshot span. What's that? Okay, that's a text thing. So maybe... All right. We know what string builder is. Let's get that. And I prefer a var here. So alternatives. Well, there is one alternative, and that's what's been suggested. It's what's been suggested. There we go. All right, we are running out of time quickly here. Yeah, there you go. Check out ourdallas.com. Very cool. Clone and translate too. All right. I feel like snapshot span is the location that we're going to be. Ooh, wow. This feels like the location where we're going to be modifying. Okay, let me save that. Yeah, let's come back to what that is. I'm not sure why debug is. Because system diagnostics is here. Right? I should be able to system diagnostics. Why doesn't it know what debug is? Right? I mean, that's a thing, right? Yeah, I know. The bot's subscribed. Isn't that weird? I don't know why debug isn't here. Shouldn't debug be in there? Have I seen the new C# format document options? You can make Control KD auto format things like var based in your editor config. Yes. You might be right. I might be missing a reference here. Let's go check and see if system diagnostics tracing. Maybe? No, No. All right. We'll figure these out. Font weights. That was in... I thought that was in one of our... Converting a solution from VBNet to C# and using an extension for it. The extension formats things incorrectly. So we just KD and away you go. Nice. Am I in a .NET Standard project? No, I'm actually in a .NET. I'm in a .NET Framework project. So let's see. Yeah, debug assert. It's in System Diagnostics Debug DLL. Well, that wasn't referenced. System Diagnostics. I don't even see System Diagnostics Debug. Right? System. Yeah. Why isn't it in there? That's weird. Okay. Let's keep moving through this. I'm going to go back over to my code suggestion proxy. Here we go. This is making more sense. This file path, document file path, this is where we're going to be. I don't want to get. Hey, Mark Berger. Good to see you. I don't want to get the current document. I want to find a file. Wouldn't it have been simpler to get the real code and start renaming? No, we're fine. We're fine. This needs to be a new code suggestions factory. New code suggestions snapshot. Thinking. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bunch of things going on here that I'm quickly losing track of. So the provider is what's managing the interactions, right? This is the high level object that's managing the interactions between Visual Studio and the error window. It's creating, right? We want to create not a spell. Whenever we've had spell checker here, we've replaced it with code suggestion proxy. So this is creating a new code suggestion proxy based on the current text view, the current page you're looking at, which I don't think is what we want to do. I think we want to. I don't think we want to reference just the file we're working on. I think we want to be able to navigate the entire solution. So I think text view is going to have to go as well as the buffer. I think. Gareth asks, does Karnak appear on your screen or does it plug into OBS? Oh no, it appears on my screen. That's on my screen. And I use Karnak during presentations that I give in person as well so that attendees can see exactly what I'm working on. What do you mean by real code? Brave Cobra is not too far off here. Let's do this. That's not a bad idea. If I go to the error list here, I could actually download. Right, I could download the project. I just want to download. So we can see how this works. Right, and this is error list is the project we're working on. Right. Let's grab error lists. And just to make this a little bit easier for us then, I'm not opposed to what Robert Tables is suggesting here. I'm sorry, Brave Cobra was suggesting. My bad. I'm confusing two folks here. There we go. So I've added that into my folder. So what I can do now, watch this. Everybody, so for the 7 folks of you that are connected to the live share, watch this. Add an existing project. cdev Fritz Stream Tools. Ooh. Hey, Anir, oh gosh. Or is it Annie Rude 24/7? Thanks for the follow. Boom. What am I doing that? No, even better. Watch this. Let there be projects. Is it there? Did it go? Is my sound effect coming through? I think it is. I usually hear the echo when I turn on the echo. I didn't hear the echo that time. Okay, so the error list is now here in the project, so we can take a look at it and wander around. It should be here. There it is, the spell checker. So we could... The sound effect, yes, the new code is not. Oh, stop it. It is, it's right here. Right, there we go. If you follow me, you should have jumped right over there. So we can navigate around this and see exactly what this does. So maybe I should have brought in all of those packages because... Oh, crap. It's bringing in a ton of packages over here. All right. I am running right up against time here. That project is appearing to me, but it's not following me anymore. So here's where I'm going to leave off, I think. So we have, let's see here, we have a sync manager and a sync manager. We have a spell checker, which is a code suggestion provider. A spell checker is a code suggestion proxy, right? Because the spell checker, right, this should actually do the spell checking, right? Reaching out to Windows and doing that spell checker. So instead of reaching out to Windows and doing the spell checking, and I'm looking through here to find where it's actually calling Windows and saying spell check, and I don't see it. But instead of calling Windows to do the spell check, we're going to receive message from our service and bolt it in here, and that's what the proxy is going to be doing here, right? Because I thought, right, so spell checker provider. Is the spell checker provider actually doing the interaction? No. Error table manager, classifier aggregate error table manager, text document factory service. Let's look at that real quick. And if I do a shift F12, I can see where it's being used. It's only being used here. Come on, find references. Surely somebody else uses this. Okay. In which case I should be able to just remove it, I would think. Sorry about that. What did you do? Oh, somebody posted a paste bin. Thank you. Thanks for that, Pac-Man Jr. I appreciate the moderation on that real quick. Okay. I'm going to need to spend a little bit more time on this, but what I'm going to do so that we have some place to start to continue working here. Let's go up one. Yeah. We've got our brand new projects out there, and we've updated our live code command with some additional information. Let's add everything in. And this is a feature project. We're going to end up purging some of this stuff before we merge it into the actual work here. So let's commit what I've got. Started work on the Visual Studio extension. Yep. So, I'll tell you what, let's wrap up from here. Hey, Ivan, or is it Ivan Lok? Thank you for the follow. You reported that guy. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. Never cool when folks are doing crap like that on my stream. Really don't like it. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to push this up. So I think we've got a starting point here where we're going to go with this. I think we've got some great suggestions. Let me stop the music and let's go over to our Mario. So we've got some great suggestions of where to go with this. This is going to be a significant project that we're going to be going through for a little bit. I'm going to grab that. And I think I want to create an issue here. Feature live code suggestions Visual Studio extension. And some URLs to help with building this. So there's that for the examples. Editor. No, what was it? The margin. Yeah. Adornments. There we go. Editor adornments for showing and helping place code suggestions. Cool. I am going to mark this as, this is a significant enhancement. If folks want to help contribute to this, this is going to be going for a while, I think. But it's going to deliver some really awesome functionality. But I wanted to stop by noon because I've got some packing to do. I'm taking off for a holiday tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to the Big D in Orlando. Going to go see the man with the ears. Know what I mean? I will be back on Thursday the 29th. Right? Thursday the 29th? Do I have that right? Yeah, Thursday the 29th. We'll do more work on this. You folks are more than welcome to take a look at this, submit some issues, some ideas around it, create some pull requests if you're able to tinker on it and get something done. Yep, I am taking off on holiday. I am taking off for American Thanksgiving. But what I want you to do is stick around right now. I am going to set up. Let's do a raid. Let's everybody go join our friend Noopcat. She's getting started in just a few minutes, it looks like. There we go. Yep. So that's going to kick off a raid to automatically send everybody over there. Just like if you were listening on radio and they have that crossover bridge where folks go from one stream to the next. Stick around if you want to check in with Noopcat, Suze Hinton. Let's let her know that we're coming. Incoming raid. If you get over there, if you stick around, drop a couple C# bots in the chat. Let her know that you came from over here. Say hi. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll have a lot of fun, and then we've got Connect right after that. And we'll have pair programming live on stage. Oh, yeah. Share them .NET bots over there. Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.
Hips Around, thank you so much for the 6-month subscription. Can everybody hear me okay? I can't tell